And the holidays, of course, are full of fun, family, guests, and busy schedules, but all that excitement can create a lot of anxiety for our pets. So, what to do about it? Dr. Alexia Tsakiris is the founder of Naturopawthic Veterinary Wellness Center in Red Bank, and she's here to talk about it. Good morning to you, Dr. Tsakiris.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for having me.
Well, nice to have you on. And the holidays, of course, can be chaotic for us. Look at that traffic we just
Right.
showed everybody, let alone our pets. So, explain why this time of year tends to increase anxiety in dogs and cats.
Well, it's like you said, we're all stressed. They pick up on our stress. There's more people in the house, there's more excitement, there's more food. And so our pets are used to the everyday. And now suddenly we spring on them the holidays, like things are sprung on us. And they have to learn to adjust to the situation. And there's certain things that we can do to help them through this time, whether it be just behavior modification, herbs, or pharmaceuticals sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even little things like your pets, people forget that pets sleep an awful lot of the day, especially when we're at work or at school or whatever, right? Don't dogs sleep sometimes 12 plus hours a day? And if you suddenly have your house full of visitors and noise and the kids are home from school and all that changes and that can impact a pet's mood, right?
Right. All of that changes. And then, like you said, there's new people in the house, new energetics. And so it's really important to understand where your dog is coming from and not try to force them into a situation if they're not comfortable. Oftentimes I'll say to people, leave your dog in your bedroom, a safe space, so they can start to hear people. Once everybody's settled down, then let them out, because it's
Mm.
really important to remember that they need to settle into the situation as well and not just like throw them into the fire of company and chaos.
So if you do see your pet start to really stress out, maybe they shake a little bit or they just act in ways they don't normally. So let's talk about some of the ways we can get our pets to relax during the holiday season.
So that's where I really like to have a safe space for them in the house where they can go. They know there's not going to be any little kids that they're not used to running up to them. They can be there if you give them, let's say, a puzzle toy, a Kong with some food in it, so that their mind is occupied. You can enjoy your time and they can enjoy their time. Because remember, just
Mhm.
because we might love company coming over, they might not love it. And so it's to not force our agenda onto them.
One thing we always did with our dogs, and unfortunately, I'm in between dogs, as they say right now. We lost ours. We talked about this. About it's actually yesterday was 2 years we lost our
Ugh,
little boy dog Kobe, and I mean we still recognize the anniversaries of their births and deaths and everything else. They were
mhm.
part of the family. Um, One thing we always did though was when they were pups we would have large gatherings and just have keep people quiet, but we wanted them to be used to a lot of people. And so
Yeah,
our dogs were always great, and kids too. Our dogs were just amazing. They never nipped, they never snapped, they never bit. They loved being around people, and they were always the mushes who would go over and just want to be on your lap and be cuddled and play with you. And so that was so important. Whereas our very first dog, we didn't have that kind of introduction. And so
mhm.
sometimes you have to keep your eye on him with especially with kids.
Right,
We would have to say, "Please don't," because you never know, he would snap. So,
right,
is I guess every animal has a different personality, so you can't always assume that if you do this, this will happen. But
right.
yet,
And that's the thing to
see
understand. They're individuals like us.
all right. So but especially if they're puppies and kittens, is it important to have those gatherings when they're really young to try to get them introduced to people, or does it matter? You can introduce and teach an old dog new tricks.
I mean, we like to say we can teach old dogs new tricks, but it is really important to start them from a younger age and always make everything positive. It's not just you have a puppy, you bring over 100 people, and they're going to get used to the situation. It's to make it positive, have people in comfortable situations, not overwhelm them, give them little treats. And that's also where, not just for puppies, but older dogs, if you are trying to teach older dogs new tricks, is to take the edge off a little bit before company comes over, so that they're not as like amped up with anxiety. And then this way they're more able to learn that they're safe in this space. So that's why when you're saying to teach them as puppies and kittens that people can come over, they're safe, it's an enjoyable situation, so that moving forward through life, they're more comfortable. Now, saying that, we should remember that as our pets are getting older, like us, they might get a little bit crankier because of underlying conditions. And so it's also important to remember that if you have an older dog, let's say, who might be a little arthritic, they might not be as amenable to the little kids tugging on them anymore because they might just hurt. So there's things like that to also keep in mind when company is coming
Yeah.
over.
So important, so important. And
Yeah.
then there are things like snacks. You always have that one Uncle Joe or someone who loves it. That's all right. I used to give our dog raw
Oh,
steak. And it's like, please listen, we have the dog on a certain
mm-hmm.
diet. So what we used to
Yeah,
do to avoid that, we used to say, if you really want to feed the dog, this is, and we used to put out the specific things we wanted the dog to be treated with. And that way, if you, because people love doing that, right?
right.
They love to feed the dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now they had something they could feed the dog that wouldn't get the dog sick. That's what we used to do, but everybody is different. So was that a
I think
decent thing to
it's
do? And we would feed our dog
I
less as a
think
result
that's
too.
brilliant. You know, instead of like the bowl of M&Ms, you have a bowl of like beef liver treats. And so they can give that to the dog instead, because the number of stories now that are coming out in practice of clients coming in reminiscing about the holidays and how their dog ate a box of chocolate that someone brought over and then they spent 3 days in the ER, you know. So it's things like
Right.
that to remember. So having a bowl of something enticing that's going to be better for them, actually a great idea.
Yeah, and actually, that's one of the things that made Kobe, our little boy Kobe, look forward to everybody coming over because he
Right.
knew that that was when his treat bag would get opened up and he would love it.
Mhm.
We were not excessive treaters, so it was when the family came over that he would then get those treats. What's a
Listen,
website, doctor, for more information? Because your veterinary practice is very different from most, and it's worth the drive. So you're in Red Bank, but tell everybody a website to get more information.
our website is naturopathicvet.com. We're also on Instagram at naturopathic_vet, where you can find us for some tips and mostly, honestly, pictures of us treating our patients because we love our patients and putting them on there.
Like I said, when we get our next dog, we're going to have to do the hour 15-minute drive to you on a regular basis and do the remote. I know you do telemed with
We
them
do
too. That's what we're going to
telemedicine.
be
Yeah.
doing. So, but I
Yeah.
love your
Totally.
whole
Totally.
different
Totally.
approach. The holistic approach to treating animals is so important. It really is. And we just next
Yeah.
time we have a dog, we want our dog to be living more than the years that they did. So we
Right.
appreciate you, Dr. Alexia
Yes.
Tsakiris,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
founder of Naturopawthic Veterinary Wellness Center, Red Bank, New Jersey. We thank you so much and happy holidays to you.
Thank you so much, Ken. Happy holidays to you. Happy and healthy.
Thank you.